God be with me. I kind of crashed, huh? Forget this. I can't do this. Yes! I did it! I did it! I did it!
That's what you landed on top of the ship.
Oh my god! I did it! I did it! Oh, I did it! Yes! Hi guys, this is my cruiser jump troubleshooting guide for the jump from fire exit to the ship in Artifice. I'm going to explain to you everything exactly as I discovered it through practicing a lot. Many little details which I wish I knew before I started learning this jump. If you want to practice this jump more efficiently, consider using the training method I demonstrated in my previous video. In that video I show how to install and use a particular mod that lets you set up attempts quickly and repeat them as often as you need. I'll include the link in the description so that you can easily find it. By following that method you can get in far more practice attempts and master this jump much faster. Preparation. Before attempting the jump, make sure the orange bar of the cruiser is full of weed killer, of course. Position the cruiser so it's touching the hill at the fire exit. The cruiser should be in drive. It's helpful to keep the wheel straight. This helps avoid potential unwanted drifting momentum. Look to the left and position the clock with the sun symbol, slightly to the left of the antenna. Make sure that the camera is not looking far up towards the sky, but slightly above the roof. This way you will be able to change angle and look towards where you're heading. That will allow you to make adjustments in your course versus doing the jump blindly. Don't keep the same camera angle throughout the jump. You need to look and therefore move the camera to where you're headed. Also, you need to make sure that the cruiser isn't moving before jumping. If it's moving, it may send you off in a weird direction, so press S if it's moving. A small note about the camera angle. It seemed to me sometimes that changing camera angle suddenly affected the movement, just like when flying a jetpack. But I couldn't really reproduce this. All my further tests showed that changing the angle doesn't do anything. I'm not 100% certain about this. This is why I recommend changing angle while flying in a smooth way and look towards where you want to go. This way, even if it's affecting movement, it will affect it positively. Also, some players have different camera positions and look further to the right or higher up. This seems to work for them, so it's good to make your own experiments and see what works for you best. This is the tag. The basic idea is 2 very fast jumps to the left, hold A and hit space twice quickly, then 3 more slow jumps to the left. Sometimes you need to adjust on the third jump by going more forward, pressing AW, or slightly backwards, AS. Occasionally you might have a trajectory that just needs A jumps. This is something you learn to feel out as you practice. Typically the sequence is AA, which means double A, so you do the jump twice really fast. AW, so diagonally front and left. A, left, A, left. But it could also be double A, or double A, AW, AS, A, depending on your trajectory. Give yourself time to get used to the controls and the keystrokes. It may be overwhelming in the beginning, but after a while it becomes second nature. Allow yourself to fail and keep experimenting, fooling around, and playing with the jumps. Here are some common issues and how to fix them. 1. Cruiser turning upside down. If your cruiser flips upside down, it usually means you're clipping the trees or the roof. This happens if your initial jumps are too slow. Try to make the first 2 jumps much faster. Another possibility is that your third jump might be slightly delayed. Speeding it up can help. 2. Flying above the cruiser at the end of the jump. If you find yourself soaring above the cruiser, that means you've gained too much height. You will less likely need to slow down the third jump, or more likely skip the final 5th jump until the magnet catches you. If you reach the end and need to correct your position, it's usually too late. Aim to be aligned correctly by the 4th jump so that you're free to skip the 5th if necessary. 3. Crashing into the back of the ship without magnet catch. If you crash into the ship's rear and the magnet doesn't catch you, it means you started the jump too far back. You need to aim slightly more forward. After the first 2 jumps, evaluate your trajectory and decide if the third jump should be forward, AW. Forward means pressing left and forward simultaneously, of course. 4. Difficulty adjusting because you can't see your heading. If you struggle to make corrections because you can't see where you're going, lower your camera angle before jumping. I like to align the sun of the clock in the middle of the line that goes from the corner of the roof to the antenna, the left corner of the roof. Then place it slightly above that line. In my latest attempts, I'm positioning the camera slightly more to the right, closer to the antenna. Make sure the cruiser isn't drifting side to side before you jump. If it is, straighten the wheels and press S to stabilize while in drive. Additional tips. It's generally safer to aim a bit more forward than backward because the ship's magnet will catch you if you are closer to the front. If your initial jumps are too slow, going too far forward can increase your chance of hitting the trees, so keep that in mind. You often won't need the final 5th jump. If you do it too early, you might overshoot and end up above the cruiser. If you need to empty the cruiser of weed killer so that you can use space on the next day for small jumps rather than big boosts, which are sometimes necessary on the way to fire while driving to avoid some rocks, etc. Wait until the magnet starts pulling the cruiser, then do the final jump. Time investment and practice goals. It took me around 15 hours of practice to master this jump. To test whether I've truly learned it, I challenged myself to do 30 successful jumps in a row without crashing the cruiser. If you can hit 30 in a row, you're probably set. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope that this was helpful to you. Bye!